Oh boy. Okay, we're trying this out. All right, microphone. Hi, everyone. Okay, I'm just going to get sorted. Okay, I swear I have lights on. Okay. All right, so hopefully, we're going to wait for some people to join the chat and we'll get started. I set up my camera a little bit differently, but we're just going to roll with it for today. How's everyone doing? All right. Well, I want to welcome you into my YouTube Live. This is the second time I'm doing a YouTube Live, and I'm really excited to be here and just kind of wind down together, do a little bit of a get unready with me while talking about some of my favorite shows that I'm watching right now. That's the one thing a lot of people ask me about, a little bit about skincare, but then also what to watch. So there's so much going on with streaming. You know, I had the pleasure of live streaming the Golden Globes last week with Britt Madrid Mogensen of In the Cards and Stars, and you should follow her YouTube channel as well. She goes live really often, and I was thinking about ways to come on and chat with the community here and like build something else off of my other social platforms that you know, it's not the same, and plus, now that, the ban is looming for TikTok, and it's just yet another platform that is gonna go away, and very likely, that's what it looks like as of Saturday, January 11th. Who knows? Things could change, but honestly, it's not looking good. So, with that being said, for me this year, one of my goals is really to work on not just growth as a content creator, but build more of a community. So that's what going live is all about. I'm trying new things. I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone and try different things to mix it up. So tonight I'm going to be here with you in my pajamas and I'm going to take off my makeup. So I'm going to start doing that. And yeah, we're just going to get into it. Mm, mm. So I know I would be remiss if I didn't start talking about everything happening in Los Angeles, the wildfires. It's so sad. It's so tragic. And, I don't know if there's an end in sight at this point. So, I mean, people really say that it's not enough to say thoughts and prayers, but I think if you put good intentions behind things, if that's what you can do, I'm offering sending my thoughts and prayers and love to everybody who is in the midst of dealing with these wildfires. It's terrifying. I can't even imagine what that must be like. And when I think about entertainment, I think about Hollywood, of course. So it's just one of those things where just a week ago we were kind of celebrating and having, award shows, and it's still award season, but I know things have been delayed, and, it really puts into perspective what's really a priority and what's important. So, just sending love out there and hoping, things, I don't know, we can start rebuilding efforts really soon. But on a lighter note, I was going to say a lighter note, but then I was going to talk more about TikTok. So maybe I'll skip over that for now and just kind of move on to, first of all, let me take off my makeup. I'm using for the first time these Clean Logic pads that are dual-sided. So this one, if you use a little bit of water, it can take off your makeup. And this one kind of has a little bit of texture to help scrub. Not really into a manual exfoliation, a scrub kind of situation. Oh, I'm bumping the monitor, but I think you kind of get the idea. So I'm going to try to remove some of this eye makeup with a little bit of water. Let's see. If it starts to move. I was filming a podcast episode earlier. Oh, bumped the microphone already. I feel like that should be, there should be a counter for every time I bump the microphone, just so, because I feel like it happens so often. I try to put it to the side of me so that I'm aware of it, but also at the same time, it's not so in the way that my, movements are encumbered, but okay, so this is not bad. I do have a lot of glitter, and sort of intense pigments. Okay, what I do like about this so far is it does move nicely, but the edges here, if you can see, they're a little bit rough, and that's not the scrubby side, that's the soft side. So what I'm actually gonna do instead is take a little bit of micellar water and just add it and kind of, instead of using the edge of it, I'm gonna bend the corner just a little bit, and we're gonna try this again. Because I do have a bunch of glitter, and my eyes are pretty sensitive, so I don't wanna be rubbing, 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 okay? That does a pretty good job already, you can see. All right, let me go in. You can see it took off a lot there. Let's fold this. Now I also have longer nails. I'm not a nail girly, but I've had these on for, my goodness, I think nearly a month, if not almost a month. And these are they're from Kiss, and they're the Salon Extend. It's a LED gel system. So these are nails. So these nails, they're press-ons, right? But you use a gel because you see there's like that growth there. I actually reapplied one or two of them. That's why they're not all grown out looking. But you can see that you have the nail itself, but you use a UV gel to cure under the LED light. It's a system, it all comes together. It's really easy to use. And I'm not a nail person, and I was able to do it. All right. I am doing too many things at once right now. Story of my life. I feel like many of us get that. I'm just going to go in. I'm going to kind of a little bit press and hold. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. Okay. I'm going to gently, there we go. And I'm going to leave my lashes on, but you can see the difference, right? Before, after, before, after. All right. So I do like, it does remove technically with water, but that really wasn't doing much for me. So let's see. Oh yeah, back to the episode. So I just recorded an episode of What's Your Skincare Routine with Leora Luciano. That is my podcast that I'm sharing on YouTube now as well, and I did a video episode, so, it's one of the newer ones for this year where I talk all about goal setting, and not just kind of how to set goals. One of the methods that I always talk about is the SMART method. You want to make sure that any of your goals are, you know, you have to be specific, they have to be measurable goals, they have to be achievable, and they have to be, reasonable, and measurable, and also, where are we? I lost a letter. Oh, T, time specific or time sensitive, or, you have to think of the time in mind, right? So it can't just be like, oh, I want to be rich. That's not a realistic goal. So you kind of have to walk that back. And what does that mean? Do you want to be, wealthy financially in Q1, right? And what do you need to do that? So, working backwards from that, what are the steps that you need to do to acquire that wealth? Do you need to put out more products? Do you need to scale your production? I'm just thinking if you're doing like physical products or something, or is there something else you need to do? And then you're gonna, create a plan according to that. So it could be something as, goals can be whatever, whatever is of importance to you or interest to you. It does not have to be career, money, love related. I think those are some of the most common ones, but it could be something like learning how to put on a winged eyeliner. And it's like, okay, I want to do the perfect winged eyeliner for, hooded eyes. And you've got to practice, that's how you're going to get there. So you can watch all the tutorials that you want, but you've actually got to try it. You've got to probably try a few different products, maybe a few different techniques, and you're going to need like a lot of makeup remover and micellar water probably. So, that's what you want to think about when you have goals, especially at the top of the new year. All right, this eye makeup is coming off. I think it's just hard to talk and gently and slowly sweep around your eyes. So, all right, I think we are pretty much done with that. And I have a lash that's like a little bit wonky, but we're going to live with that. We're just going to live with it and let it live. Okay. So now I'm going to take a little bit more and go in and get around my face because there are a few things that I want to show you. So when it comes to skincare in the winter, I'm in the on the East Coast in New York City, and it has been cold and dry for the most part. So for the second time I hit my mic, for the first time in a while, I feel like my skin has really been pretty dry and reacting to the weather in that way. And I'm like a combination oily person. So that's kind of weird to have a dry skin experience for me. All right. So I just took off my makeup with everything but the lashes. You can see this pad. It's kind of gross now. I'm going to do another sweep with micellar water just all over just to make sure I picked up any pigment and really get in here. Because as I was saying, I recorded a podcast episode a little earlier this afternoon, and I never really do a full beat. Three times I've hit the microphone. I never really do a full beat anymore, but that's just because I'm really focused on my skincare. I know, shocker. If you're new here, I'm sure that's still an absolute shocker to you. I'm very focused on my skincare and just making sure. Oh, and we have an errant lash coming out. So let's see. I think that should be a little bit better. Could be a little wonky. It might have to come off. Let's see. Does it want to jump? Is that what's going on? Let's see. If it wants to jump off my eyelid, I will let it go. But for the time being, okay, that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that because the next step is all about these fabulous toning pads from Innisfree. These are the green tea enzyme vitamin C brightening toner pads, and there's 60 in here, and I'm going to try them for the first time. So one thing that I was talking about in terms of skincare goals, objectives, etc. Let's see. And oh, wow. Okay. This is very thoughtful. This comes with these little, I know you can't really see it, this little kind of plastic tweezer to grab at your toner pad. So you're not touching it and contaminating it, which is fantastic. Ooh, she's thick. These are not little flimsy, these are not little flimsy pads, you can see. Okay. So we're just going to kind of, feels really nice, very cooling. And this is one, but look how thick it is and look how coated it is. Okay, so we're just gonna gently swipe it all over. And I really actually do like to do a little bit more toner in the winter. And I think that almost sounds counterintuitive because I feel like when I think of toner, and this just could be me, it feels like it's something you do after you wash and then you want to get extra oil up, but not necessarily. Sometimes it's just about balancing the skin out. But I think because I've pretty much always had more acne prone skin, you feel like, oh my gosh, I've got to sop up all of this oil. I've got an oil slick coming and just got to get rid of it. So I feel like, think of like my teens, even 20s, when your skin was really acting up and you're like, okay, what can I do? What can I do to get rid of this and calm this down, and you just try to rub and scrub and swipe away. But my point is, I do love a really nice juicy pad like this, and you can see, ooh, I went under and I realized I did not remove the powder that I had there. Okay, great. We'll go back in later because usually I like to wash my face in front of a sink, but I thought it would be fun to do it here. So it's not going to be perfect, but you can see this is really feeling nice and gentle. I was worried that because it's a green tea vitamin C, it might be too astringent on my skin, but I do not feel that at all. It feels great. So this is what it looks like after I wiped a little bit of this side is a little better. The other side, I went fully under and grabbed a whole bunch of makeup. So make sure you wash your face properly. And the next thing that I want to do before I apply my moisturizer, I actually want to go in with a sip first. I'm drinking this adaptogen drink from Junie. They were kind enough to send it to me and I tried it out, and this is the cherry lime flavor. I really like it. Oh, that's nice. Okay. So I got something from Solawave, the red light therapy and skincare brand. And this is the Light Boost eye cream. And I also want to use the actual eye light boost eye red light product. It's called the eye recovery pro. So it's just like a mask for your eyes. And now here's my issue. With these nails, I can't really grip so well. So something like this becomes really tedious. So bear with me. I might have to get a tool like those little tweezers that are really not tweezers, but just to get a little bit of that edge. Ooh, let's see. As I knock into cameras and things, it's really hard to do this live. There we go. Okay, so here is the cream, the under eye cream. I'm just going to grab from the top because I don't need that much because it's a small surface area under your eyes, of course. So let's close that back up. Okay. And I'm using my left hand ring finger, the weakest finger of all, if you are right-handed, non-dominant hand. So there's a lot here. So I'm just going to dot it, and then I'm going to dot it on the other side. And I do see some residual makeup, but that's okay. We're not perfect right now, but I'm going to have to go back in and clean that up. Okay. So I have this. I'm just going to let it kind of set for a second and dry down, and then I'm going to apply this mask. So this eye mask is a red light therapy mask, and they have 4 different red light modes in here. So I know this is going to be so hard to see. I bet. There we go. I turned it inside out and I have it super close. So let's see. That's off. Here's on. And I know there's different modes, but now that it's inside out, I can't see what I'm doing. But here you get the idea. So we're going to put this on in a second. Okay. Oh, that wasn't bad. I might keep this on. I really like it. It looks kind of like superhero like with these lights. So geez, what was I talking about? I lose track of things, and I wanted to talk to you about TV shows, but there were so many other things to talk about too. One of the things, in addition to my podcast episode, which is really about goal setting right now, I also did one last year. And actually, I have to mention it's the 1 year anniversary of What's Your Skincare Routine with Leora Luciano. So if you are interested in all things lifestyle, so beauty, fashion, wellness, pop culture, what to watch on TV, and travel, and even a little bit of tech, it's definitely something for you to check out, whether here on YouTube or if you like the more traditional audio only podcast format, it's available like that too. So the other thing that I've been doing is because I've been kind of experimenting with different things, was working on a vision board. I'm gonna link those episodes in the show notes or down below in the description so you know what I'm talking about. But, everybody kind of talks about making vision boards in the new year, and I love that. But I also came across a really cool idea. I'm sure I saw it on TikTok. And, it's all about making a bingo card for your goals for the new year. So I talked all about that, how to set it up. And it's something I'm actually working on because when I was like right up until the point I was started to record, I was like, oh, I should do that. And I kind of had my episode set and I mentioned it. So it's just something I have to catch up with. So I might come back on my next live and give you guys a look at that. So something to try out too if you are into vision boards, if that's the sort of thing that you're into. All right. So I feel like my eye, my under eye is a little still like dampy, tacky. It's not quite set, but basically this the instructions I was looking at earlier, and it says you can kind of apply it right away. So we're going to do that. Okay. So I think this is a good look for me. I'm just going to cheat this around. Let's see. Okay, maybe I should look at a mirror. I think that's good. It feels tight. It feels tight. Okay, here. Oh, yeah. Wow. There we go. I think my eyelash is a little stuck in there. Okay. So we're going to put that on, and you can see the red lights going, and it's automated. It's automatic. It will stop in 3 minutes. 3 minutes is all you need. And I've actually interviewed some derms and some doctors about red light therapy. And I think, especially these masks, because there are benefits to them. I think we need longer studies on them, but really you only need a few minutes. So there's really not much in terms of what we know so far. There's not much of an extra benefit to, I see people doing 2 sessions, sometimes 2 rounds, like once it stops, they might put it on again. But really 3 minutes up to maybe 5 or 6 minutes, that's really all you need. And of course, I'm speaking very generally because it depends on the kind of light. For example, this has different types of different depths of light nanometers. That's how it's measured. So, how deep it goes into the skin. And I'm sure I probably should be reading this to you instead of wearing it and sort of guesstimating. But red light therapy is something that I've wanted to get into for some time. So I do have some new devices, and I will be sharing more about them on the podcast. And while I have this on, I might do something new. Something else that I'm doing is doing more affirmations. And I got this affirmation card deck. You can see this here. Let's see. It's affirmation deck here. And I'm going to open it up and pull out a card because I feel like a lot of when it comes to manifestation, when it comes to journaling, sometimes you need a prompt or a place to start. And I feel like good affirmations are great. So I am literally just taking the deck and not looking, but shuffling. I don't think I can shuffle this deck with these nails. Okay. So you can see there are words on the bottom. So I'm going to try. Oh, that wasn't bad. Okay, let me show you. These are my card skills. Ooh, in the air. Not very good, but here we go. Okay, I'm just going to take it from the top. Oh, this is beautiful. I am worthy of love and happiness. So you can take that with you from our live today. So just remember, repeat it to yourself. I am worthy of love and happiness. Okay, I'm going to put that away for now, but that's something that I've tried to incorporate into my self-care practice before, but I didn't have prompts. I was creating the affirmations myself. And while that's great, sometimes you just get stuck and you're like, oh, that's not important. Let me move on to the next thing. So, oh, there we have it. Okay, so this is done now. I'm going to open this up, take it off. I'm going to fully take it off just because, or maybe not. There we go. Whew. Okay. Yeah, so I have a little bit of, residue to wipe off here, but I'm gonna do that with a handy dandy paper towel. It's a little tight, but that's kind of on me because I was trying to adjust it so that I could see. Okay, but you can see it's pretty straightforward. I'm not sure if I had, so it has these adjustable eye thingies, and I think you pop them out. They might, oh, to wipe them down or clean them. And now I've popped them out. So I will put them together later. All right. So moving on, because I wanted to talk about the shows that I'm actually watching too. So, with everything that's going on in the news, sometimes you do need a bit of escapism or entertainment to take your mind off things if you can. Let me just adjust these lashes. So I am trying to keep these on. Ooh. So now I can go in with my hydration and talk to you about some shows that I'm watching. Okay. So there we go. Let's do a little bit of that. Okay. And this is actually, I should tell you what I'm doing. This is the Alpen Melt Moisturizer, and this is Bakuchi oil and ceramides. There we go. That's pretty clear. So yeah, I have it on the back of my hand. So why not like let your hands get some benefits? So I like to just kind of gently pat and tap. So Bakuchi oil is a retinol alternative. So it's a plant-based derivative. It's not a retin A derivative, vitamin A derivative, but it has a lot of the benefits of retinol without some of the irritation. So retinoids in general get a bad rap because while they do have really beautiful beautifying skin benefits, they can be irritating. So what we're seeing with bakuchi oil is that you're getting those benefits, but you're not getting irritation or sensitivity. So it's definitely an ingredient to check out. It is for use pretty much at night, but I think there's fine points in terms of differences between that and a retinol, but it's something that I'm trying because I want to do more actives at night, but at the same time, sometimes I do too many actives and go way too hard on my skin. If you're like that, you'll get it. So I don't want to walk around with red skin. Let me just fix this eyelash. Oh boy, I might have to come back in 1 second. Okay. Let's just grab that eyelash. Okay, so I'm wearing the lashes that are like under your lash line, but I feel like this one is being extra funky right now. Okay, I don't know if that did anything, but alas, here we are. So I wanted to talk about the shows that I'm watching on some of our favorite streaming services and where to watch them, because that's something that I talk to my friends about all the time. Now, sometimes my friends will just literally text me, "Hey, what are you watching? What are you watching? What network is it on?" And we watch more series and episodic TV. I think because of like award season and the Golden Globes last week, I binged a lot of movies, right? So I'm kind of back to watching a bunch more like I guess regular kind of traditional episodic TV. So we have, regular network TV, streaming services, and there's some new shows that have come out and are coming out that I'm really excited about. So I want to tell you what I'm watching literally right now. Before I came on this live stream, I had to actually shut it off because it's so good. So I'm watching The Traitors season 3. It's on Peacock now, and it is one of those psychological reality show competition type shows, and it's hosted by Alan Cumming, who I I know the show also is an international show and it's on in other countries, but I cannot imagine another host who is able to blend the drama and the campiness of the show, but also it's not like, thrown away. It's like, okay, we know this is silly. We know we have, a show full of mostly reality stars. And yes, they're competing for money, but also the competitions, you're like, sometimes the games don't matter because things can kind of get, switched around. So, anyway, you should know about this show already, but if you don't, um, this season has a cast of mostly reality TV stars. It's mostly reality TV stars, but also people in pop culture. So, there's usually a lot of like Big Brother, Survivor, Bravo, so a lot of Real Housewives. But then there are different personalities as well that it might be like somebody related to a celebrity or something like that, or somebody who was married to a celebrity. So all sorts of different characters, if you will. And this season we have, let's see, personalities like Strauss, Tom Sandoval, Sam Ashgari. So if you have no idea who those people are, it also doesn't matter because you can go into a show like, for example, you can go into the season and not know, like, I'm not really an expert in a lot of the Big Brother contestants, so I'm not really sure of the lore there and like, so people come in with pre-existing rivalries sometimes, and you're just like, "Whoa, I don't know anything about that." And they really don't give much of a backstory other than to say sometimes, "Oh, yeah, wow, this person is, like, legendary on my show," or, "They're really known for being a backstabber." But as the viewer, if you don't know that, that's okay too, because 'cause they're telling you, and that's fine. You'll take their word for it. But basically what happens on the show is that contestants are divided into faithfuls, right? They're just people playing to win. But then you also have the traitors who are essentially hand selected to undermine everything that the faithfuls are doing. So the faithfuls ideally are supposed to work together to one, increase I think the pool of money at the end. And the traders are supposed to eliminate people. So it's sort of like, um, the traders want to eliminate the faithfuls, and the faithfuls want to weed out the traders among them. So there's a lot of suspense, alliances, betrayals, all that kind of stuff. And what I love about the show is, for right now, it seems like it starts with they're all in a room, they all kind of meet each other, and then Alan Cumming secretly, puts them in a room and they kind of play like, I don't know if you know that game 7 Up, like when you're a kid where everybody puts their head down on a desk and you cover your eyes and you have like your thumb, up, and then whoever is in charge, maybe it's the teacher the first round or someone else, they put your thumb down and you're it. And then it's kind of like that, but then now I'm also confusing that with Duck, Duck, Goose. But basically, Alan walks around the room, everybody's kind of like either blindfolded or something a little bit more dramatic than putting your head down and closing your eyes. And he kind of just taps them on the shoulder and they know they're selected as a traitor. And so usually each season if I'm correct, starts out with 2. But as we go along, there's twists. There's other people that are either added, so there might be 3 traders or 4, so there are all these things going on, while the faithful are still trying to figure out who the traders are. So there's also a lot of assumptions because from early episodes, everybody's like, "Oh, well, your behavior is weird. You must be a traitor." So they're really kind of just going off of like, your vibes are shaky, so I don't know, I think you're a traitor. Or maybe the strategy is, well, the housewives are gonna stick together, so we're gonna eliminate them, or at least one of them statistically has to be a traitor. Something that's absolutely based on nothing, but it's fun anyway. So I highly recommend season 3 of The Traitors. It's on Peacock. It just started, I think, this week, so I'm not sure how many episodes are out because a lot of times on Peacock, they do drop these episodes once a week. I'm not sure if they have the whole season out or what, but you check it out. The next thing I'm doing is catching up on a show that I'm late to. So this show is called Silo, and it's on Apple TV, and it's basically a dystopian future kind of show where it's all about these people that live underground in a massive silo, and everybody has different jobs to maintain it. And I'm literally on season 1, I think episode 3, so I'm kind of figuring out how things work. Basically, it's like seems like a long spiral with, goes, I'm not sure, down, like, it's also there also seems to be a little bit of like a caste system, if you will. So people who work like in the mechanical on the bottom, let's say floor 100, are sort of um lower, in class, or, depending on job title. I'm not really sure. Again, I'm still figuring this out, but we don't know. We don't know, and they don't know why they're in this silo. And a lot of this is about there seems to be one camera that points to the outside world. And if like there's kind of like one rule. Everybody lives in the silo, works in it, and if you want to go outside, if you want to leave, you say that, but you cannot take it back. And you are basically put in like a spacesuit and you go outside. And so they call that cleaning, because usually the person who leaves cleans the camera. So they kind of like take a wipey cloth and do like that. And then what happens to them after? So it's kind of like part, I don't know, it's really fascinating. So I have no idea what's going on, why they're there. I know a few characters. I have a little bit more insight into what's going on, the political setup, but it's sort of like, what is the true purpose of the silo? And basically it's like a sci-fi thriller, uh kind of a little bit survival, rebellion, all of those things. So it's going to be really interesting to watch. I know there's another show that was recommended to me called From. I have not watched it, but I heard it's very similar in terms of being a dystopian type of thriller. I think I can only do one at a time of those. But the next show that I wanted to talk about that was the opposite of this. It's very dry, very British, a sort of mockumentary if you need a laugh and this is your type of humor. It's called Cunk on Life, Cunk. And it was created by Charlie Brooker of Black Mirror. And it's a satirical kind of comedy, documentary, mockumentary, show hosted by Philomena Kunk. That is our lead, and she's played by Diane Morgan, a comedian. And basically, she just hilariously misinterprets historical events, scientific concepts. It kind of reminds me of like an updated, if you were into it and if you were around for it, like Ali G, where you sit down with these important leaders and with a straight face say kind of the craziest things, to them. And they either are in on the joke or I'm not really sure, just kind of react or like try to gently like correct. But the interaction is just really funny and it's really silly in that way. And if you love deadpan humor or, absurdist takes on pretty serious topics for the most part, this one covers, life in general, religion, all of it. So if you have that kind of sense of humor, this one is definitely one to check out. It's on Netflix. The other one that I watched on Netflix that just came out this year is a documentary called Don't Die. And Don't Die, The Man Who Wants to Live Forever on Netflix. And it follows tech entrepreneur Brian Johnson. If you don't know him, he is sort of at the forefront of all things wellness, but at an extreme level. And I say extreme because it's not just what he does, but it's also the way in which he does it. Like, sometimes people talk about habit stacking, right? So you'll kind of like, okay, here's my morning routine. I wake up, I take my supplements. Well, he takes, I don't know, nearly 50 supplements a day. Like literally that many supplements, pills, whatever. So it's at another level. It's really fascinating. So it's pretty extreme, and it's a quest really not just for wellness, but it's not just a quest for wellness, but also to reverse the aging process. So his goal is not just, all right, I want to improve the quality of my life. No, he wants to turn back the clock, and what from outside appearances, but also it seems like he's more interested in getting his organs aligned to, um, you know, or calibrated to someone who's 18-year-old male. So I find that fascinating because, if you are on a wellness journey or you're looking into things, whether it's supplements, and I just realized I didn't put on my lip balm, a little dry. I like this Dew of the Gods. Oh, I feel so much better. Okay. Okay. So back to Brian Johnson. I don't know what products he uses, but he uses a lot of things, a lot of tools, a lot of fancy gadgets and gizmos are in his arsenal, and he uses them daily. Um, it's really he wants to slow down the aging process and also reverse it to sort of as young. It's not about youth necessarily, but like having his organs be like at optimal levels. So it's like he's constantly getting like blood work and spending millions annually on all of this. And it's really about seeing where the science is. For me, this was my interest, to see where the science is, and then also what are the ethics, because there are certain things that he does. He's involved his son and his father as well. So he has, taken like blood from his son, and just there's a lot going on that I don't want to there's a lot going on there, and I don't necessarily want to jump ahead because I think it's so interesting to watch. Everything that he does, yes, he does have products to sell. He does have a method. There is a lot of things going on that are part of that gray area of like ethics. Um, and he, one of the criticisms I heard was like, okay, well, he is, taking on everything himself, and kind of he's his own guinea pig, but why not? Or maybe in addition to that, why not also fund clinical research? So I think what the documentary does a good job at doing is sharing all of this, but also kind of getting into, at what cost, to what end. Because yes, I think there was one point in the documentary where he said that people may live, the oldest living people are, kind of, no one has really gone over 120 years old. So, he wants to be immortal. However, what how far can we get? How long can we be on this planet in this one lifetime? So I think it raises a really good question. And for me, what I'd love to know, because he does have supplements, he does have a method. I'm not really sure. I think it's the blueprint method. Anyway, we see all these studies, especially for wellness, especially with anything with health for men. For women, what would that protocol look like? How different would that be? What would be required to turn back the hands of time? Not just so much physically and visually, right? So externally, that's one thing, but internally, what does that look like for women? Let's take into account hormones. Let's take into account so many other things. That's where I wanna see the research, because yeah, I mean, it's very easy to sort of, make fun of somebody who sort of has this quest and is, has basically plenty of money to fund it. However, at the same time, I would love to see, um I would just love to see what the protocol for a woman would be. somebody who was similarly situated maybe. But, as much flack as he's gotten, I feel like the double standard would be if a woman tried to do this, it would be like, "Oh, this is beyond vanity. This is so crazy." It would just get so much more negative feedback. But it's something I would still be curious to see. So if you're interested in wellness, if you're interested in how far is far enough, that's definitely a documentary to check out. So I see some people that are here with us. I wanted to say hi to everybody that just came in. Thanks for joining. I'm in the middle of one of my wellness rants. So that was called Don't Die, The Man Who Wants to Live Forever. And it's the documentary on Netflix. It's about Brian Johnson. And there's some other shows that are coming out on Netflix, and I have some other non-Netflix recs coming out too. But there's another show coming up called With Love, Megan, and it's on Netflix. It's coming out January 15th, and it's all about basically a lifestyle series with the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle. And it's all about her basically DIY projects, home entertaining, dining. She has celebrity friends and chefs that she seems to interact with. I think it's about an 8-episode series, and it looks really lovely. And it looks like the perfect thing to watch in the winter when you want a little bit of that, hominess, but also inspiration. So definitely one to check out. I know it has a little bit of controversy because people, either they do not enjoy Meghan Markle for whatever reason or they do. So I am going to be watching that one, and I'll probably watch it in one sitting if I'm honest. The other show that I want to talk about is a dating show, and it is called Singles Inferno, and this is the 4th season. I've not watched previous seasons. It came up for me when I was scrolling Netflix because I think the algorithm knows me really well, and it was one of those like kind of coming soon. And I'm just going to read the description that I saw. It comes out January 14th. And in Singles Inferno, the hottest and most flirtatious singles search for real romance on a deserted island. The only way to escape, match as a couple for a romantic night in paradise. Since its 2021 debut, the show has become a global sensation, and season 4 is turning up the heat with an even bolder cast and more emotional twists. And this show seems really funny because it also has one of those like MC, who are watching the show along with us, and they're giving their feedback based on, they're reacting like we're reacting at home. So I feel like those shows are always fun to kind of watch. Um, even if you're by yourself, because it's like you're like, "Oh wow, I agree with that host. That was wild." Or I don't know, that wasn't so crazy to me. But that is definitely one that I'm gonna check out. And now, let's get into there were a few things that I wanted to talk about. We had some award-winning shows that kind of really swept at the Golden Globes, and the first one is Shogun, which is on FX and Hulu, and they won the Golden Globe for Best Drama. And it's an adaptation of a novel, and it tells the story of John Blackthorne, an English navigator who is shipwrecked in feudal Japan. So we're going way back. So it's a period piece, and he becomes entangled in the country's political upheaval while navigating cultural divides, loyalty, and survival. So you have martial arts, you know, um, you have a beautiful, just visually beautiful storytelling, and it's a really good story too. So that's definitely one to check out. Um, Very binge worthy as well. And the other one is a comedy, and that's on Max, and it's called Hacks. So this one is it was best comedy at the Golden Globes, and it follows the mentorship between a legendary stand-up comedian, Deborah Vance, who is played by Jean Smart. And basically, it's she's kind of paired with a comedy writer who's a bit on the entitled side. Um, called Ava, and she's played by Hannah Einbender, and they really clash, but also at the same time, they really do create something beautiful together and magical and funny, right? And it's all about navigating the world of comedy, stand-up comedy. Character Deborah Vance. Oh, my light just went out. Um, Character Deborah Vance is one of those people that, she was sort of at the top of it all, in Las Vegas, and now she is, kind of just touring as a stand-up and doing what she can. So this comedy writer came in to sort of help her and support her. But she has a bit of a chip on her shoulder herself because she's also a stand-up and an actor and is trying to make a name for herself as well. So I think that one is really funny. It's been three seasons of that show, and I think the fourth one comes out later this year, if I'm correct. And last but not least, this one's really intense. So this one is Baby Reindeer, and it's on Netflix, and it was the winner of the best limited series, the Golden Globes, and it's a psychological drama, and it tells the story, the real life story, I should say, or it's based on real life experiences of comedian Richard Gadd, who also stars in the show. And the series really delves into themes of obsession, trauma, vulnerability, and it tells a very unsettling story and Gad's own experience with a stalker and all of the emotional toll that takes. And it's a narrative that it's very dark, but it's very well told, and it's one of those shows that you've never really seen anything like it before. So it really does stick with you. But it is definitely one to watch if you hadn't seen it. So I want to know what you guys are watching and what you're adding to your watch list. Let me know in the comments, and or let me know down below. So I know we still have some people in here watching. Maybe they're a little shy to chat, but that's okay. So I think, oh my goodness, it's already 8:52. We've been on 52 minutes, and yeah. Well, if you want to get a hold of me, you know how to reach me. And if you don't, let me share. You can follow me on Instagram at Leora. Make sure, if you're interested in this content, like and subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. And also, my podcast is available wherever you listen to podcasts. It's called What's Your Skincare Routine with Leora Luciano. And you can find it anywhere you find podcasts. And you can also find it right here on YouTube, too. So thank you for hanging out with me tonight. I hope you enjoyed relaxing. I hope you were able to unwind a little bit and get some new show recommendations. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you can join me when we go live next time. All right. Thank you so much. See you soon.